Welcome back to the Lights Out podcast, bedtime stories for boys and girls around the world. Good evening, boys and girls. Are you ready for bed? Are you all snuggled up and ready for another Lights Out bedtime story? Good, because you're in for a treat tonight. That's right. We have a book called Unplugged by Dan Yaccarino. And we have a big shout out goes to all you amazing listeners who are making this show a reality. That's right, almost 700 stories on this show. And we have a simple mission of 1,000 ad-free stories forever for boys and girls around the world. But back to the story, because it's all about the story, Doug Unplugged. Once upon a time, this is Doug. He's a robot. Each morning, his parents plug him in to fill him up with lots and lots of facts. They love their little robot and want him to be the smartest robot ever. Today, you will be learning all about the city, said his mom. Happy downloading, said his dad. Doug learned about many city things. Population. There are 8,175,133.5 people living in this city. Trash cans. People in a city throw out over 14,000 tons of trash each day. Manholes. There are 750,000 manholes. Fire engines. Firefighters respond to more than 195 calls each day. Skyscrapers. The tallest skyscraper in the city has 102 floors. Subways. There are 840 miles of subway tracks and 468 stations. Fire hydrants. The first fire hydrant was installed in the city in 1808. Taxis. There are 13,237 yellow cabs, making more than 470,000 trips each day. Pigeons. More than 500 million pigeons live in the city. But then, something caught his eye. It was a pigeon. Doug had just learned that pigeons traveled in groups called flocks. But he didn't know that they made such a funny cooing sound. He wondered if there were more things he could learn if he went out into the city. So, Doug unplugged. Right away, he learned that if you flew into a flock of pigeons, they scattered. Doug knew that cities were teeming with people, but he discovered that crowded sidewalks make it hard to see where you were going. Doug found the subway. He already knew that subway trains ran underneath the entire city, and that kid rode for free. And now he found out that the subway trains screeched their way around corners. He couldn't wait to learn more. Doug knew that skyscrapers had strong steel frames, so they could be many stories high. But he was amazed by the view from the top of one. He could see everything. Doug learned many more things about the city, like wet cement feels squishy under your feet. Fire engine sirens are loud. Some garbage cans are smelly. Manholes are dark. Pretty flowers grow out of cracks in the sidewalks. Taxis stop if you raise your hand, and the cool water in a park fountain feels good on a hot day. Doug came across something that wasn't in any of his downloads. Want to play? Asked a little boy. Doug didn't know anything about playing, but he was happy to learn. Doug learned how to play hide and seek and a new game called tag. Doug found out there were all sorts of different ways to play, and that it was nice to have a friend to play with. I don't see my mom or dad, his friends said, sounding scared. Doug remembered a way to get a better view of things. So, zoom! They flew way up high. There they are, the little boy shouted. When they landed, the little boy ran to his mother and father. Doug thought about his own parents. Suddenly, he wanted to tell them everything he had learned today. The best thing he learned was that if you want to show your parents you love them, you should give them a great big hug. And his parents thought he was the smartest robot ever. The end of Doug Unplugged by Dan Yaccarino, here on the Lights Out podcast. Bedtime stories for boys and girls and robots around the world. Good night.